Alright guys, welcome back to Spanish with a Twist, episode 16. I'm Jacob from England.
And I'm Diego from Chile.
And we're back for another in-person one today in my flat. How you doing, Diego?
I'm doing quite well. Yourself?
I'm doing good, thank you. And today we're doing something special. We are attempting a video podcast. It's our first ever one, not professional at all. If you're used to high-quality YouTube podcasts, this ain't it, I'm afraid, but we're just getting used to it, you know? We're thinking of doing it in the future because video podcasts are fun. Mm-hmm. So guys, if you're here for the first time, welcome. We're so happy to have you here. This podcast is all about following me on my Spanish learning journey as I try to get to a conversationally fluent level as fast as I can, following the Awesome Languages with a Twist course, which is totally start to finish and just gives you all the topics you need to be conversational in the order you should learn them. There's about 150 topics total, split into 3 levels of 50 topics each, without any bullshit, no fluffy topics like memorizing fruits or colors, just the stuff you need. And as long as you go through it in order, I can guarantee you will speak Spanish. And to prove that it works, I'm doing it myself. I've done this course already for Czech, so I know it works. I speak conversationally fluent Czech, and I'm also doing it to learn French, German, and Italian with native speakers of those languages. And you can go and check out those respective podcasts as well. It's everything with a twist. So with the Spanish, currently I'm in level 3, so I've done quite a lot. So after level 2, you do have all the grammar that you need to have conversations. And level 3 is kind of like ironing out the little small things you don't know yet. Useful little structures that come up all the time. Like today, we're going to be learning how to say, it makes me. Like it makes me angry, it made me forget, this always makes me think of him, things like that. A very useful structure. So here on the podcast, what we're doing is I'm using all the stuff I've learned so far in conversations with Diego, and then we're also making progress through level 3 as well. And if you don't know any Spanish yet, don't worry, because we're making videos of every topic from every level over on our YouTube channel, Languages with a Twist, so you can go and learn all the topics that I've learned so far, and also see it used in basic conversations as well. We're going to make a nice playlist called Small Talks, which is me and Diego having very basic conversations, only using the grammar and vocab from level 1. So if you're a bit lower level, you can go and check that out. So Diego, we're going to get started with conversation time today. We've got a nice topic all about our houses, which is quite of a nice topic because we're in my flat today.
That's it, yeah.
And then we're going to go into question time. So I've got just a couple of little questions for you today. And then we're going to go into leaflet time, the last part where we're going to do one of those topics from level 3. So without further ado, should we jump into it?
Let's do it.
All right, guys, back in a couple of seconds for conversation time. Entonces, Diego, ¿cómo estás?
Muy bien. ¿Tú, Jacob?
Sí, muy bien. Estoy un poco calor. Tengo un poco calor.
Tengo un poco de calor.
Un poco de calor.
Tengo un poco de
porque en mi depa, aquí, donde estamos ahora mismo, hace mucho calor porque estamos on the top floor.
En el último piso.
En el último piso.
En el último piso.
En el último piso. Can you put that one in the notes? That's nice.
Sí.
Guys, all the vocab that comes up in every episode goes into our Google Doc, and we link to that in the description, so you can see all the words and phrases that come up in every episode. En el último piso, sí. Y por eso, usualmente, hace mucho
calor.
Correcto. Lo cual es un gran problema por mí.
Para mí.
Fuck.
Para mí.
Why para for this one? We did
Because
para last time.
Because you perceive it as an annoying thing,
Because our rules for para we had last time were the intended recipient, destination, to show the use or purpose of a thing, or to express contrast.
It's kind of like the destination, it's like your perception of something, right? Para mí, Praga es la ciudad más linda.
So maybe I can put that as like another category, like for people's opinions.
Yeah, para mí, definitely.
For people's opinions.
Yeah, para mí, esta es la mejor cerveza, for example.
Okay,
Para
good.
mí.
Yeah. So es un gran problema para mí porque mi aire acondicionado, which we had this word before, en mi bedroom.
Habitación.
En mi habitación. No funciona muy bien.
Okay.
Porque when it's turned on.
Cuando está funcionando.
Cuando está funcionando.
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 O prendido.
Prendido.
Yeah, you could say that. Mhm.
Cuando está prendido, empieza a leak.
Okay. El agua se empieza a filtrar. Oh, actually, not filtrar. We'd say gotear. Gotear. A gota is a drop.
Okay.
Gotear. So we could say,
gotear.
gotear. Yeah. It's to leak of a liquid.
Okay, so what's the sentence then?
Cuando está prendido, you said, right? When it's on. Cuando está prendido, empieza a gotear.
Empieza a gotear.
Gotear, exactly.
Okay, cuando está prendido, empieza a gotear.
Correcto.
Lo cual es un gran problema. It's because it ruins,
Sí.
porque arruina the floor.
El piso y la pared.
Yeah, el piso y el pared.
La pared.
Y la pared.
Correcto.
Sí, sí. Entonces, Diego, el tema de hoy es la casa.
La casa es de nuestro leaflet.
De nuestro
discussion.
discussion leaflet. Yeah, we have a little discussion leaflet we're going through. Previously, we talked about dates, which was a nice topic from a couple of episodes ago. Y hoy hablamos de la casa.
La casa.
Entonces, pregunta uno para ti, Diego.
Primera pregunta. we could say.
Primera pregunta.
Yes.
¿Cómo es tu casa?
Bueno, mi casa en Praga era un apartamento de una habitación, ¿sí? Y es un lugar, o era un lugar, muy soleado. Muy soleado.
Sunny.
Sunny.
Ajá.
Soleado.
What was the sentence? Es un lugar.
Es un lugar, o era, because I don't live in Prague anymore, so talking about my last home, era un lugar muy soleado.
Okay.
Sí.
Y ahora, en Polonia, ¿cómo es tu casa allí?
Ahora mi apartamento es más grande, pero en Praga vivía solo.
Ajá.
En Polonia tengo 2 compañeros de apartamento.
Okay.
Sí.
Bueno.
Sí, sí. Entonces, el apartamento es más grande, pero yo tengo menos espacio.
Solo tu habitación.
Solo mi habitación y los lugares comunes, los espacios comunes.
¿Y te gusta ser roommates?
¿Te gusta vivir con compañeros de
Compañero.
depa?
Sorry. So, ¿te gusta vivir con compañeros de vida?
De depa. Vida. Life partners.
Compañeros de depa.
Depa, sí. O de
Okay.
departamento,
Yeah.
sí. O piso. In Spain, they say piso. a
De
lot.
piso.
De piso, in Chile, it's the floor.
Yeah.
But in Spain, it's an apartment, a flat.
Okay.
Yeah. Sabes que la verdad es que extrañaba vivir con personas, ¿no? Porque viví casi 2 años solo
Okay. En Praga.
en Praga, sí. Y creo que no me importa vivir con personas. No me molesta.
No te molesta.
No me molesta, sí.
Okay.
Sí.
Porque para mí, in my opinion,
Sí.
me molesta mucho vivir con compañeros de depo.
Ajá.
Y nunca...
De depa.
De depa. Y nunca quiero vivir con gente otra vez.
Okay, you'd say, nunca más quiero vivir con gente otra vez.
Nunca más.
Yeah, nunca más.
Nunca más quiero vivir con gente otra vez.
Nunca más quiero vivir.
Yeah. He vivido solo. Después, since. Después. Desde tenía.
¿Qué tenía?
Desde que tenía 24 años, creo.
Okay, just one side note. We could say, desde que cumplí, since I turned 24.
Desde que cumplí.
Exacto. Desde que cumplí
Ok.
24 años.
Desde que cumplí 25 años. Sí. Y para mí es genial. el problema principal fue que me gusta pasar mucho tiempo en el ducha.
Oh, en la ducha.
En
sí.
la ducha.
Okay.
Sí. Y les molesta a mis compañeros de depa. Is that a good sentence?
Yeah, les molestaba.
Les molestaba. Les molestaba.
Les molestaba.
Yeah. Y I hated it. Lo odié.
You would say lo odiaba, but in that case, I would still use molestar, but mucho. I would use the mucho. Y me molestaba mucho.
Me molestaba mucho
yeah.
cuando they knocked on the
Okay.
bathroom door.
Cuando golpeaban.
Golpeaban.
Golpear.
Cuando golpeaban en
la puerta
la puerta
del baño.
Y-
¿En serio?
and oh my God,
¿Y decían?
decían, Jacob, get out.
Okay. Y decían, Jacob, sale pronto.
Yeah, I hated it. I hated it.
Okay, bueno, tal vez tus duchas eran muy largas.
Okay.
Puede ser. Perfecto.
Nice.
Jacob, bueno, ahora estamos en tu casa.
Sí.
Entonces, la pregunta número 1, o primera pregunta, ¿qué puedes contarnos acerca de tu casa que no vemos en el video?
See. Oh yeah. So if you guys are watching the video, and my whole point of this is I'm going to just put it on Spotify because they still have like a video thing
Oh,
and see
¿en serio?
how it
Sí,
works. So if you're watching on Spotify, you can see my apartment. Entonces he vivido aquí por casi 2 años y en mi opinión es el mejor. No, es la mejor departamento.
Es el departamento, el mejor departamento.
Ajá, ok. So, es el mejor departamento que he tenido en mi vida.
¿En serio?
Sí,
Okay.
porque mi departamento anterior fue más grande.
Era más grande. Description.
Era más grande, pero no era tan nice.
Ok, no era tan cómodo, lindo, bonito.
Porque mi departamento ahora se ve moderna.
Se ve moderno, sí.
Se ve moderno.
Sí.
Y es exacto mi estilo.
Ok, es exactamente mi estilo.
Y es exactamente mi estilo.
Mi estilo. We say exactamente because you're saying it's exactly my style.
Okay. Tiene 2
habitaciones.
Habitaciones. No es muy grande, pero tiene 58 metros, square meters.
Cuadrados.
Cuadrados.
A cuadrado is a square, so we say metros cuadrados.
Y como decía, está en el último piso.
Último piso.
Está en el último piso. Estar, because we're talking about location, right?
Correcto.
Sí, y tiene una ducha asombrosa.
Okay,
muy
perfecto.
grande, el gravity shower,
Okay.
you know.
Sí, es como lluvia, I think they call it estilo lluvia.
Okay.
Rain, I think.
Estilo
lluvia.
lluvia.
Creo que lo
Sí.
llaman así, sí.
¿Y qué te parece mi depa?
A mí me gusta mucho que es muy iluminado.
Sí.
Very bright.
Iluminado.
Sí, iluminado.
Mucho
sí.
me gusta.
Sí,
Me gusta mucho.
Me gusta mucho, correcto.
Me gusta mucho.
Sí, sí, sí.
Y me encanta mi televisor.
Oh, mi televisor, sí.
Is that the normal word for it? Like, how do you say TV?
You would say televisor, but you could also say mi pantalla, my screen.
Pantalla. Mi pantalla. Y mi planta.
O tu planta de
mi planta?
IKEA, ¿sí?
Yeah.
Sí, recuerdo.
Pero es vivo.
Está viva.
Está viva.
Está viva.
Todavía.
Eso es bueno.
Casi dos años.
Wow.
Estoy muy orgulloso
Sí.
de mi
De mí mismo.
De mí mismo.
De mí mismo.
De mí mismo. Sí, sí.
Perfecto.
Pero, como te decía, antes de que empezamos a grabar.
Ok, antes de que empezáramos a grabar, remember, we use
What's that? Imperfective subjunctive?
Correcto.
Can you say it one more time?
Antes de que empezáramos a grabar, because you're meaning a time in the past. Right?
But couldn't I make this more simple for myself by just saying antes de grabar?
You could make it
That would
simpler
be
that
then
way.
simpler.
Antes de empezar a grabar, that's fine.
Antes de empezar a grabar.
Grabar.
So I made it complicated, but so I don't need to say that imperfect subjunctive.
I mean, you don't need to, but people do because they use que.
Yeah.
Antes de que something happened in the past, and that's where we have to use the
But isn't that
subjunctive.
only used usually when you're trying to emphasize or clarify which people you're talking about before we started recording? Like, because if you say antes de que empezáramos, it's like before we started.
Yeah.
But I could just say antes de empezar because it's clear that it's us.
Correct. And then, you could say antes de empezar, and then you could use the we form of a simple past. Antes de empezar a grabar, bebimos un café. And that's fine.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so antes de empezar a grabar, te dije que en Septiembre, is it en or just el?
En septiembre.
En septiembre me voy a mudar
Sí.
a un departamento distinto.
Sí, distinto.
Distinto. Not que, distinto.
Without distinto.
Distinto. Porque este depa es muy caro.
Ok, entiendo.
Demasiado caro
Demasiado caro.
para mí.
Entiendo.
Sí.
Okay. Son buena suerte buscando
Muchas
apartamento.
gracias. Y de hecho, como hice la última vez,
Yeah.
cuando me mudé de mi depa anterior, I'm going to make the most of my apartmentless time to do a bit of traveling without paying rent.
Ok.
Like when I went to Australia last time.
Voy a aprovechar mis meses sin arrendar apartamento para viajar.
Would you mind writing that down? That was a lovely sentence. And I did know that verb. I've just forgotten it.
Aprovechar. I think we mentioned this.
We definitely have done because it's on our leaflet of interesting words.
Aprovechar mi tiempo sin apartamento para viajar un poco.
Nice.
Sin pagar renta,
Yeah.
sin pagar arriendo.
This is something I like to do. Every time I move house, rather than just moving straight away,
Yeah.
I like to take a couple of months
¿Por qué no?
to explore a little bit without paying rent.
Perfecto.
But still in Europe. I'm going to go to, pero todavía en Europa. Most likely,
Probablemente and then you put the place.
probablemente a Italia y España.
Ok, yeah. Perfecto,
Yeah.
perfecto.
Nice. Okay. Entonces, pregunta 2 para ti, Diego. ¿Cuál es tu ciudad favorita en la que has vivido?
Ok. ¿Cuál es tu ciudad favorita en la que has vivido? Okay, how is this related to home? Because we called it home, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, it's just
I
funny.
don't know. It's a stupid question.
No, I don't think it's stupid. It's just not that related.
Okay.
But
Well,
I had a
fuck
home.
it, let's go with the flow.
No,
Yeah.
but I had a home there, actually. In the place where I lived, for sure.
Okay.
Right, so,
Like, dinos.
okay. Buena pregunta.
entonces.
¿Cuál es tu ciudad favorita en las que has vivido? We could say en la que has tenido una casa. That sounds nicer. Creo que tal vez en Australia, en Melbourne, que me gustó mucho Melbourne. Sí. Porque yo era más joven en ese entonces. At that time, en ese entonces.
En ese entonces.
It's a very
I know
good
we've had that
phrase.
before, but it means at that time.
That time, correct.
It doesn't translate nicely, does it?
En ese entonces, not at all. At that time, right? So, yo era más joven en ese entonces. Entonces, creo que disfrutaba más la ciudad.
Okay.
Sí, salía más a menudo.
Sí.
Me reunía con amigos
Okay.
en parques más a menudo que ahora.
Entonces,
Sí, sí.
tal vez una mejor pregunta sería, ¿cuál es tu casa o depa favorito en la que has vivido?
Correcto, sí. Perfecto, sí.
I think that's what I meant to write.
Sí,
I wrote the
I
wrong
think
word.
that's yeah.
So
I think we
can I
messed it
change
up.
it?
Yeah,
What
you
should the
change
question
it.
be? ¿Cuál es tu casa?
Casa o
Slash
apartamento
apartamento
favorito
favorito
en
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 el
dónde en dónde has vivido. Yeah.
Okay,
That
en
sounds
dónde.
more neutral. In which?
en
Oh,
dónde
yeah.
has vivido.
Neutral, yeah. So, entonces es muy fácil. Es mi apartamento en Praga.
Antes.
El que estaba antes, la última vez.
Yeah.
Sí. Porque no era muy grande, no era muy pequeño. Sí. Es un poco similar el tamaño a este, sí, pero no era tan moderno.
Okay.
Sí. Pero me gustaba la ubicación.
¿Y dónde estaba?
Cerca del río, en Praga 5.
Praga 5. Okay.
Es en Angel
Lo sé.
Smichov.
Lo
sí.
sé.
Sí. Entonces,
Nice.
Sí.
Okay.
Ese era.
Y puedo... do you mind my asking? We've had this phrase before.
Si no te importa decirnos o decirme,
Si no importa...
te importa.
Si no te importa decirme cuánto cuesta tu depa en Praga.
En Praga hace 2 años era, creo que en total, como 20,000 coronas.
20,000,
Sí,
20,000.
sí, en total, sí.
Nice.
Algo como 800 euros. 800 euros.
Sí. Me estoy buscando. Is it with me or no?
Just without me. Yeah,
So estoy buscando algo así. Is that right? Something like
Sí,
that.
algo así, perfecto.
I think like my Spanish is pretty good today.
Por supuesto.
I'm feeling it. It's just coming. Yeah, very nice. Okay, cool. Well, for me, I've already answered this question because this is my favorite
Sí,
apartment
ya nos
that
contaste,
that I've
sí.
lived in. Porque es el primer apartamento que tiene aire acondicionado.
Entiendo. Sí.
Lo cual es muy importante para mí porque siempre tengo calor.
Sí.
Even. I know even. Don't tell me. I've forgotten it. Incluso
Incluso.
en el invierno.
¿En serio? Sí. Perfecto.
Yeah. No es tan asombroso.
Ya, pero bueno,
Okay.
es bueno.
Entonces, Diego,
La última pregunta.
la última
Sí.
pregunta para ti. ¿Cómo es el hogar, which is home, right?
Sí.
¿Cómo es el hogar de tus sueños? What's your dream home?
Dream home. ¿Cómo es el hogar de tus sueños? Oh,
So in Spanish they say of your dreams rather than
Correcto.
your dream home.
correcto. Es una pregunta muy difícil.
Sí.
¿Cómo es el hogar de tus sueños? Creo que, a diferencia de muchas personas, a mí sí me gusta vivir en apartamentos. Entonces creo que el apartamento de mis sueños sería uno donde haya un balcón. Un balcón con mucho espacio.
You said donde hay un balcón.
Donde haya un balcón.
Haya.
Porque
Donde haya.
it's my dream home. So it's an imaginary situation.
And this, but what subjunctive is this?
It is just present subjunctive. Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Because I'm just. Aber is because it's from haber. That's why it sounds a bit funky for you.
We've got a box for this in the level 2 leaflet, guys. Present subjunctive irregulars. Ser, estar, ir, saber, dar, and haber. It's all in there.
Yep. So basically, what I'm saying is that I'm talking about this dream place. It's a theoretical description, right? So, me gustaría un apartamento donde haya o que tenga un balcón muy grande para poder tomar aire, ver las estrellas.
¿Y en Praga o somewhere else? How to say somewhere else?
En otro lado.
En otro lado.
O en otra parte. Creo que tal vez cerca del mar, mejor, sí. Porque extraño mucho el océano o el mar. Sí.
Is it a mí también or yo también?
I said, extraño mucho el mar.
So it'll be yo también.
Yo también, sí.
Yo también.
Sí. If I said, me gusta mucho el mar,
you
could say, a mí también. Right?
But isn't there another verb for miss that's reverse perspective?
O echo de menos.
That's not what I was thinking of, but okay.
Extrañar. To miss something?
Something else?
Or maybe you're thinking about me falta, but this is a missing something.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm mixing up.
Yeah, I think that's what you're thinking of.
Okay.
Because, yeah. But in this case, I would say extraño mucho el mar. Sí.
What's this echar de menos?
Echar de menos is to miss someone that you love or a friend, family.
And how would I say it? Like te?
Te echo de menos, I miss you.
Oh, okay. So it's normal. Te echo de menos.
De menos. Lo echo de menos, my brother. La echo de menos, my mom.
It's saying on here that this is Spanish from Spain?
Actually, we could use it in both continents, I would say.
That's good to know.
Echar de menos, extrañar. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Sí.
Okay. Entonces, mí.
El hogar de tus sueños, Jacob. Cuéntanos.
Para mí, definitivamente... I hate this word. Definitivamente.
Perfecto.
I can't say it again.
Definitivamente.
Definitivamente. Quiero o querría, I would like, or me gustaría.
Me gustaría o querría. Yeah,
querría.
But me gustaría, go for me gustaría.
Yeah, because I can't pronounce the one. So me gustaría vivir por el mar.
Perfecto. Yeah. Por el mar, cerca del mar.
El mismo como tú.
Igual que tú.
Igual que tú.
Sí.
Y quería tener un villa pequeña.
Una pequeña villa. Puedes llamar una villa.
Donde haya una piscina.
Okay. Donde haya una piscina o que tenga piscina.
Tal vez en España. Y de hecho, ya he encontrado un lugar que quiero comprar, pero no tengo suficiente dinero.
Ok, por el momento no.
Cuesta más de €1,000,000.
Ok, más de €1 millón
so I think I'm never going to have enough money.
¿Quién sabe?
Yeah, need to get more listeners.
Exacto.
Okay, so that was conversation time. That was nice. What words do we have from that? So, gotear is to leak.
Leak, yeah.
En el último piso, top floor.
Yeah.
I liked estar prendido, to be turned on, as in the machine.
Yeah, you could say prendido funcionando.
When it's working.
Yeah.
And the opposite, when it's turned off, would be cuando está apagado.
Apagado.
Okay.
Exactly.
Also, aprovechar, I knew this already, to make the most of, but nice to remember it.
Exactly. Cumplir años is important.
I knew that one. I knew cumplir. I just didn't know that I would use it in that kind of context.
Yeah, desde que cumplí.
Because it wasn't when I turned 25 that I moved out. It was during while I was 25.
Desde que tenía.
You know?
Yeah, actually, you could say desde que tenía as well. Desde que cumplí.
Because it wasn't like I turned 25 and then moved.
True. That's true. Yeah, I'm just thinking that for some reason it sounds more natural to say desde que cumplí.
Okay.
24 años, yeah. The thing is that cuando tenía, okay, if you say cuando tenía, when I was 24 years old, Me mudé solo. Yeah, that's definitely what you would say as well. Yeah. Cuando tenía. So that's it, that when we say desde que, you're just saying like since something happened. So that action was turning years. So that's why it sounds more natural to say desde que cumplí.
Okay.
24 o cuando tenía 24.
Okay. Lovely. So some good stuff there. And also, en ese entonces, at that time. Great phrase, which I totally had forgotten, because it doesn't translate, doesn't make any sense. It means, like, translation is like, in that then.
Yeah, correct. I've never thought about that yet.
Yeah. And igual que tú is nice as well, same as you.
Yeah. Because the problem here with igual que tú is that lots of students say lo mismo que tú.
That's what I did, I think. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So,
But lo mismo we used to say like the same object, right?
Correct.
Like tengo el mismo televisor. Como tú?
correct. Yeah, tengo el mismo televisor que tú. Yeah.
Que tú.
But let's say we're ordering food and you say, I don't know, cheeseburger. And I say, oh, lo mismo que él. Like the same.
And that's good.
Yeah.
Lo mismo,
Lo mismo.
que él.
Lo mismo que él, por favor.
Because it's the object, it's the
Yeah,
cheeseburger.
the it.
But this igual que tú is like same as you, like
Situation.
same situation,
Yeah,
same.
exactly.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
All right, so without further ado, let's jump into the second part of the episode, question time, which is when I ask Diego a few questions about Spanish. All right, guys, welcome back to question time. So, Diego, first question for you is about a word that came up last episode, bump into, and we learned encontrarse,
Yeah, encontrarse con alguien.
someone. Lovely. I noticed in the notes that you also wrote down this toparse con.
Toparse con.
What's that about?
Basically, topar is the action, the physical action of bump into something, right? So it translates nice into English.
Okay.
Right? So
And it's used...
it's using the same meaning. It's a little bit more informal than encontrarse con.
Okay, and is it regular? So it would be... but it's reflexive.
Exactly.
It's, well, the same as encontrarse. So it would
Correct.
be nos topamos con Diego en el baño.
Perfecto.
I bumped into Diego in the toilet yesterday.
Ayer, yeah. Eso es real. Sí.
Okay.
Sí.
Okay.
Or I would say, me topé con Lenka en el aeropuerto.
Me topé.
Me topé.
So it doesn't have to be nos.
Oh, I could also say me topé con Lenka.
Oh, that's good. I bumped into me topé con Lenka.
En el aeropuerto.
Or you could say nos topamos con Lenka. So you can say like we bumped into Lenka.
Correct. We bumped into each other. It's not there.
But you still say
With
con Lenka.
Correct.
Aha,
yeah.
we bumped into each other with Lenka.
Yeah, but we just don't say with each other, right?
Or I can say me topé con Lenka.
Yeah, I bumped myself into Lenka. Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's good to know. I like that one.
Yeah.
And because of this, I just happened to Google it as well, and I found this other one that I wanted to ask you if it's used or not. Tropezar con.
But tropezar is more like to trip into something, like some cables on the floor. Or some
Maybe it's something
loose-
like stumble upon in English.
Yeah, but the physical thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Like when you almost fall down. Yeah.
Would you use it with a cafe?
No. That's it. That tropezar is just physical. Yeah, that's actually a good important.
So not.
Tropezarse con.
So we shouldn't use tropezar con as in bump into then. You would
No.
recommend using encontrarse con and toparse con.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. And the thing is that when we, I guess in English you say I came across a nice cafe. We just say encontré un café muy lindo.
Oh.
We don't say me encontré con. Right?
Can you put that in the notes? That's really
Definitely.
important because it's always good to know bump into and come across.
Exactly.
Okay.
Encontrar and then just something.
And that would work for things like a podcast.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, this is to come across things.
So it's no con, it's just encontré un podcast.
Exacto. Encontré un podcast muy bueno.
Okay, that's interesting.
Sí.
Okay, good to know.
Exactly.
Okay, question to Diego. This is also something that came up in yesterday's episode, and I realized that I think we had talked about it on our previous podcast, because before we started this one, we were doing one in my language school called, I think it was called Speak Like Me Spanish, the podcast, SLM Spanish. We've got like 47 episodes there, so you can go and listen to that if you want. It's called SLM Spanish. I wanted to talk about the mi mismo thing. Por mi mismo, a mi mismo, conmigo mismo, just to make sure I'm good with it. So this is all different ways to say by myself or just myself, right? And basically the preposition that you use, whether it's por mi mismo or a mi mismo, depends on the verb that you're using, like what preposition is going to go with that verb. For example, if you're talking about viajar, you say, nunca viajo por mí mismo. I never travel by myself.
Exacto. Nunca viajo por mí mismo.
And that's because you have a viajar would go with por, I believe.
In this case, it's por mí mismo because you just want to say that you do something por ti mismo, without any external help.
Because some verbs go with a. For example, ayudar. Like, I want to help myself. Quiero ayudarme a mí mismo.
Perfecto. Sí, quiero ayudarme a mí mismo.
Which is weird that you also have the me. Ayudar, I want to help me by myself. I want to help myself.
Because you help someone, and then this mí mismo is just to emphasize that you help someone.
Even if that person is me.
Yep, yeah. Because I maybe, for example, I would say, let's say that my best friend needs some help. And many people are offering help to him. I would say, no, yo quiero ayudarlo por mí mismo. So I want to help him by myself without anyone else helping me.
You just said por mí mismo.
Yep.
And previously I had said a mí mismo.
Yeah, because in that case, I'm helping him, quiero ayudarlo. And then when we say por mí mismo, it's without any external help.
So why is it when I say quiero ayudarme a mí mismo, I'm using a?
Because in that case, the reflexive part prevails from the verb. That's what
What?
It just makes more sense to use a mí mismo if you use the reflexive.
The fuck?
Right? So, look, let me find an example here. So I say, quiero ayudarme, ayudarme a mí mismo, versus quiero ayudarlo por mí mismo. Right? Quiero ayudarlo por mí mismo. I want to help him without anyone else.
Por
mí mismo.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. It's like when I say quiero hacerlo por mí mismo.
Okay.
I want to do it by myself, like on my own, basically. Right? But if I say quiero ayudarme a mí mismo, I want to help myself by myself, basically. That's why we have this double reflexive.
Okay.
Right?
Interesting.
I'm trying to think another. Let's say I want to cut my own hair. Quiero cortarme el pelo a mí mismo.
Sure.
Right? Because I want to cut my own hair by myself, right?
Okay.
Right? But if I have a very fluffy cat and I say, quiero cortarle el pelo por mí mismo, like my cat,
Okay.
right? So basically, if the object is the same person, you would say, a mí mismo.
Okay. Okay.
You can see that pattern here.
Okay. I can hear your keyboard quite loud, by the way.
Oh.
Louder than usual for some reason.
Maybe I'm too excited trying to think about examples.
That's all right. Because sometimes it will definitely be with a, right? For this one, siempre me digo a mí mismo, tú puedes.
Because in that case, we always say decir something to someone, decir algo a alguien.
So this would always be a mí mismo.
Siempre me digo a mí mismo, tú puedes. Yeah.
I've got another example here. Siempre me cocino huevos a mí mismo. I always cook eggs by myself.
Yep. Siempre me cocino huevos a mí mismo. In that case, if you say a mí mismo, it means that for myself, like the recipient of that action is myself. But if I say siempre cocino huevos por mí mismo, that would be that nobody else helps you.
Yeah.
Yes, but we could think about something more complicated.
Yeah.
Siempre limpio mis ventanas por mí mismo.
Okay. And then sometimes we have conmigo mismo.
Yeah.
And why is it migo? Because whenever you have the con, that's where we have those funky ones. Conmigo, contigo,
That's
consigo.
exactly what I was going to say.
So this would be things like, I want to be by myself. Quiero estar conmigo mismo.
Correcto. Quiero estar conmigo mismo.
Is that because there's a collocation of to be with yourself
Exactly.
rather than by yourself?
Correct. Yeah. The same with quiero pasar tiempo conmigo mismo.
Sorry, say again.
Quiero pasar tiempo, spend time conmigo mismo. So I
With
spend
myself.
time with myself. Mhm.
And we talked about these examples yesterday. Like he needs some time by himself. Maybe we should go. Let's go through the persons. Maybe so. I need some time by myself would be necesito tiempo conmigo mismo.
Correcto.
You need time by yourself would be necesitas tiempo contigo mismo.
If you're talking to a guy, correct.
And if you're talking to a girl,
Necesitas tiempo contigo misma.
so the tigo stays tigo. There's no contiga. It's
Nope.
contigo misma. Okay.
Exactly.
He needs some time by himself. Necesita tiempo consigo mismo.
Correcto.
And if it's a girl, consigo misma.
Correcto.
So there's no consiga.
Never say consiga.
Okay.
Mhm.
And then by ourselves, necesitamos tiempo con nosotros
Nosotros
mismos.
mismos, only guys, or
Or
mixed group.
mismas.
Yeah.
No. If it's mixed, it would also be mismos, right?
Correct, yeah.
So if it's me and my girlfriend, it'd be mismos.
Correcto.
But if
Sí.
it was a lesbian couple
Would
of
be
girls.
con nosotras mismas.
Oh, then con
If they're talking,
nosotras, yeah.
yeah. But if I'm talking about these two girls, I would say ellas necesitan tiempo.
Con ustedes. No. Con ellas mismas.
Consigo mismas.
Oh, fuck.
Consigo mismas.
So it's also seagull works for the they
for the
form
they form, yeah.
and for the you plural form.
Con ustedes mismas.
So not for you plural. That's interesting because usually ellos, ellas, ustedes is all,
It's
all in the same
yeah,
group.
yeah.
But now we separate out the they.
Yeah, that's it. If I'm
Consigo.
addressing them, I say necesitan tiempo con ustedes mismas.
Oh, wow.
Because I'm just referring to those girls. I would say, ellas necesitan tiempo consigo mismas.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's just an interesting pattern. It's quite, I would say, specific. It's not really essential to know this, but I think it's worth having a.
But we want to have
box.
everything in the course,
Yeah.
and like we can then decide what's important to focus on and what isn't.
Yeah.
Because it's nice to know some of this stuff, especially like conmigo mismo.
Conmigo mismo, contigo mismo, I would say it's the most common ones, right?
Yeah. Okay. Are there any other prepositions other than por, a, con? Didn't something come out like de mi mismo?
Yeah, but that's just like any other preposition, right? Para mí mismo, de mí mismo, por mí mismo.
Can we go into this a bit more? So what does it mean?
De
Yeah.
mí mismo? Oh, it's like of or from myself.
So this is a picture of myself.
Es una foto de mí mismo, yeah. Tomé una foto de mí mismo. I took a selfie.
Okay.
Yeah.
So anytime you want to say myself, but with different prepositions, you can put the preposition and mi mismo.
Correcto, yeah.
Uh-huh. And when I'm talking about a guy, it's a photo of himself. It would be de su mismo.
De sí mismo.
De si?
De sí mismo.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Si?
De, yeah, because de is like, it's not like con. Remember that migo, tigo is only with con.